بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرض اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we studied al-illatul ghaiyya, final cause, and we said final cause is what the efficient cause or al-illatul fa'iliyya, the agent, considers, and because of that does the action. And that's the motive, that's the thing that motivates the agent to do the action. And this is why we said it is also considered as illatu fa'iliyyatil fa'il. That's the one that makes fa'il decide to act. So without that, we didn't have fa'il. Maybe we had the fa'il as a person, for example, but not as a fa'il, as someone who does something. Someone who is sitting here doing nothing, what makes him decide to do something? Al-illatul ghaiyya. We also said we have ghaya, not illatul ghaya, ghaya, and that is ma tantahi ilayhi al-haraka or ma yantahi ilayhi al-fi'l. What the motion or action leads to it, ends with it. That is ghaya. Now, today and inshallah next session, we have follow-up for that discussion. Al-Faslu Thamin, the 8th chapter, is what we study inshallah tonight. And inshallah then we would start chapter 9. In chapter 8, we want to study the things that happen and may suggest that they happen without having any ghaya. For example, someone playing with his fingers or beard seems to have no ghaya, no purpose. Yeah? Or for example, a person who is ill and all the time in his bed, goes from one side to the other side, turns around. So some people have said these are actions without ghaya. Now we want to see, there is such a thing that there is action without ghaya, or it's not. In the next discussion, inshallah, we will talk about chance. Do we have anything as chance? Luck. Or philosophically, there is no such a thing as chance in the sense that something happens without reason, without cause. So that's for inshallah next session. Al-Faslu Thamin fi Ithbatil Ghayah. Chapter 8 is about proving Ghaya fi ma yu'addu la'iban aw juzafan أو باطلا والحركات الطبيعية وغير ذلك. Chapter 8 is about proving ghaya and in what is counted as لعب. إنما الحياة الدنيا لعب ولهو. لعب means play, game. Like playing with your beard. Oh, juzafan. In Farsi we say gazaf. Juzaf. We will explain what is it. Or batilan. Something it is batil. We will explain. An action which is stopped. والحركات الطبيعية, natural motions like تنفس, تغذي, this type. وغير ذلك. So we want to prove that even in such actions there is غاية. The action has an end. ربما يظن أن الفواعل الطبيعية لا غاية لها في أفعالها. It is maybe thought that natural agents, natural causes, you remember فاعل بالطبع, they don't have any غاية. ظنًا, thinking, the reason for this thought is that they think أن الغاية يجب أن تكون معلومة مرادة للفاعل. Because غاية has to be known and has to be intended by the agent. How can something like our body be aware and intend its action? لكنك عرفت, but you have understood. Yeah, this is very good. If someone says, have you understood philosophy? You say, yes. Allama Tabatabai said, لكنك عرفت. أن الغاية أعم من ذلك. غاية is more general than what is known and intended. Yeah, we said غاية is not what is necessarily known and intended. It can be what is known and intended. It can be something that the action leads to it, even if it is not intended or known. We distinguish between this. وأن للفواعل الطبيعية غاية في أفعالها. Even natural agents and causes, they have end in their actions. What is that end? Is it what they want to achieve? Maybe they don't have any want or desire. No. هي ما تنتهي إليه حركتها. تنتهي إليه حركتها. What their actions end with. The end or destination for their action. For example, if you put an apple seed in soil and it grows and becomes an apple tree and then bears fruits, this is the ghaya for it. This is the ghaya for that apple seed. Can you say that apple seed knew and intended? No. But you cannot say there was no ghaya for it. It was potentially inside it and it had instruction inside how to become that, but not with understanding.
So how do we link that to the idea that everything has some sort of understanding and sure?
No. That's different. Everything has understanding is another perspective, and in my understanding, that is not for their worldly side or mulki side. From mulki side, some things have understanding, some things have no understanding. From malakuti side, everything has understanding. But these are two separate realms. وَرُبَمَا يُظَنُّ. Another thing that sometimes it is thought. So one problem was about فَوَائِلِ تَبِعِيَّة. Another problem is sometimes it is thought أن كثيرا من الأفعال الاختيارية لا غاية لها. That many of our voluntary actions have no غاية. It's not about فاعل تبعي, even about us human beings who have voluntary action. To move my hand, is it voluntary or not? Yes. It's not like beating of heart. It's action. But sometimes I just play with my beard. They say it has no غاية. What are you going to achieve?
Is the reason or end?
End. ربما يظن أن كثيرا من الأفعال الاختيارية. This is the second problem, the second wrong thought, that many of voluntary actions have no غاية, no end. كملاعب الصبيان. Sometimes children do some, plays that لا غاية لهم فيها. They have no end. وكاللعب باللحية, playing with beard. وكالتنفس, even tanaffus, of course, part of tanaffus is tabi'i, but for example, I can sometimes, breathe differently with my intention. For example, breathe faster, deeper, yeah. وكانتقال المريض النائم من جانب إلى جانب. If there is someone who is ill and sleeping, without him knowing, he moves from one side to the other side. This is not, of course, ikhtiyari. This is tab'i, but with qasr. Remember, tab'i can be without qasr, like tanaffus, with qasr, like mariz. وكوقوف المتحرك إلى غاية من غايته. Or something which is moving stops somewhere other than what it was heading. وقوف, please see what I'm doing in translation. وقوف here means a stop. وقوف doesn't mean standing or knowing, because وقوف in Arabic can mean knowing, can mean standing, but here means a stop. In Arabic traffic signs, they have ممنوع الوقوف, no stop. وقوف, yes. Pardon?
Like a double yellow line, no stopping.
Yeah. كوقوف المتحرك إلى غاية, something which is moving stops somewhere عن غايته, without reaching its own end. For example, wanted to go 1 kilometer further, but stopped there. بعرض مانع. بعرض مانع. عرض means عروض. Because an obstacle has happened. يمنعه عن ذلك. Something happened that stopped him, blocked him, didn't let it go and reach the end. So these are other things. So can be af'al ikhtiyariye, can be like af'al tabi'iye, qasriye, or something which is stopped. All these are things that are thought to be not having qaya. These are not all for ikhtiyari. Ikhtiyari was for mala'ib al-sabyan, but then we have tanaffus and other things. Now, this is the answer by Allah. وَالْحَقُّ أَنَّ شَيْئًا مِنْ هَذِهِ الْأَفَاعِيلِ لَا يَخْلُو عَنْ غَايَةٍ. None of these actions, af'al is the plural for fi'l. Then we have jam'ul jam. What is the plural for af'al? Is afa'il. In Arabic, we have jam'ul jam. In English, we don't have. In Arabic, you can have jam'ul jam. For example, we have af'al tabi'i, we have af'al ikhtiyari. If you want them to bring all of them together, you say afa'il. Okay? You can say it's still af'al, but if you want to. None of these actions is free from ghaya. None of them lacks ghaya. وَتَوْزِيهُ ذَلِكَ. Now, its explanation is this. The core of Allama's answer is this. You should be able to identify different factors that contribute to this action. You shouldn't have a simplified version, oversimplify the issue. You think that, everything is a matter of thinking and intending, and here there seems to be no thinking and intending. No. Every type of fa'il has its own ghaya. We have to see what is the fa'il here. Is it something which involves thinking? It's something which involves only imagining? Is it just something physical? What is the fi'l and fa'il? أن في الأفعال الإرادية توضيح ذلك, explanation of it is this. In voluntary actions, there is مبدأ قريبا للفعل. There is مبدأ. مبدأ means origin, means what creates or what brings to existence this action. مبدأ, yeah, that thing that brings this action. قريبا, near, للفعل, for action. What is the nearest thing for action? When you, for example, make a painting, who is or what is the nearest fa'il, the nearest cause or source for this action? Yeah, the power which is in your muscles. Yeah, the power which is in your muscle is the nearest thing. Now, you are not doing this directly. Your soul has to function through your body. Yeah, and this is why if your hands are not open, the hands are tied, you cannot just think and paint. Yes? أن في الأفعال الإرادية مبدأ قريبا للفعل. There is an origin which is near the action. هو القوة العاملة المنبثة في العضلات. That's the قوة, the faculty, okay, which acts and is spread in muscles. That quwwah is spread in muscles, or it comes from the muscles. وَمَبْدَأً مُتَوَسِّطًا, and there is a middle origin before this near one, and that is وَهُوَ الشَّوْقِ, that desire, that eagerness, المستتبع للإرادة والإجماع. المستتبع, what does it mean? It means it brings after it. المستتبع means it brings after itself الإرادة والإجماع, means will and decision. Okay, ijma here doesn't mean consensus. It means determination. You decide to do something.
You said it's thought and not intention. You said.
Pardon?
You didn't say this is intention that was required.
No, desire. Then we go before this. وَمَبْدَأً بَعِيدًا قَبْلَهُ, and before shawq is ilm, knowledge. Because first you think, for example, you think of going to see your friend who is ill in hospital. You think about it, tasawwur, then you do tasdeeq, say this is good, then it produces desire, shawq, then that shawq becomes strong, it's mu'akkad, then you make decision, then you give order to your muscles to release power, and then you move. Yeah. All these things happen in a rational person. But as we will say, there are people that as soon as something comes to their mind, they have show and they do it without thinking. There is no tasdeeq. As soon as they think of something, they do it. In some of lectures, like Muharram, this last Muharram, I said, if you want to understand the amount of rationality of people, you have to examine how much it takes them to make a decision. Some people, instantly, they make decisions. Everyone can provoke them and they act. Some people, it takes them years to make decisions. Not because they are lazy, because they need to collect information, to think through it. And so it's very important to be able to control your tongue, your action, if needed. So, there is mabda'an ba'idan qablahu. Is an origin, a faculty, far. It's not qarib, it's not mutawassit, it's ba'id, because at least two things are in between this and the action. Huwa al-ilm. What is ilm? Huwa tasawwur al-fi'l ala wajhin juz'i. To conceive that action that you want to do, you conceive it in a special, a specific way, particular way. الذي ربما قارن التصديق بأن الفعل خير للفاعل, which sometimes is accompanied by tasdeeq. You think of doing this and then you come to this conclusion that yes, this is good, I should do it. And sometimes you come to the conclusion that you should not do it and you don't do it, but sometimes you just rush. You do it and later you think about it.
Sometimes you come to the conclusion you should not do it, but you still do it.
It's possible, yes. Unfortunately, some people, and maybe we all are more or less like this, unfortunately, we are not always rational. We do things that we like, and then many times we think just to rationalize what we have done. Yeah, I say something and then I find a reason to explain to you why I did it. This is not rationality. ولكل من هذه المبادئ الثلاثة غاية. Now, you have to know for all these three types of mabda, these types of origin or faculty or source, whether it is qarib or mutawassit or ba'id, each of them has its own ghaya. So if one of them, for example, does not exist and does not have ghaya, it doesn't mean there is no ghaya at all. Maybe this was something that didn't involve any fikr, any thinking. Okay, there is no ghaya for that. But there is ghaya for mabda mutawassit or qarib. Like, for example, if I play with my beard, don't expect to have ghaya for mabda' fikri, because there was no mabda' fikri. But for my muscle, there was ghaya. For my takhayyul, imagination, there was ghaya. And they exist. لكل من هذه المبادئ الثلاثة غاية. For each of these three mabda', there is an end. وربما تطابق أكثر من واحد منها في الغاية. Sometimes more than one have identical غاية. They have the same غاية. وربما لم يتطابق. Sometimes they don't match. They have separate غاية. And maybe some of them don't exist and they don't have غاية. Now, let's consider all different options. فإذا كان المبدأ الأول وهو العلم. The first thing was what? Tasawwur and tasdiq, ilm. If that first, or the highest one, mabda' ba'id. Ba'id means the most remote one from action. Yeah? Which is the nearest one to us, but the most remote to the action. إذا كان المبدأ الأول وهو العلم فكريا. If the first origin for the action is something which is a matter of thinking. So it is an action which involves thinking, reasoning. Fikri means it's a matter of thinking and reasoning. كان للفعل الإرادي غاية فكرية. If it was something that you thought about it and you decided to do it out of that reasoning, then certainly that action has also غاية فكرية, an end which is a matter of thinking. It means that it was something that you thought about it and you wanted it, you intended it. Okay? وَإِذَا كَانَتْ تَخَيُّلًا مِنْ غَيْرِ فِكْرٍ. But if it was a matter of imagining the ghaya without reasoning, without thinking, this has different options. فَرُبَمَا كَانَ تَخَيُّلًا فَقَط. Sometimes it is just takhayyul, just imagination. As soon as you imagine, تَعَلَّقَ بِهِ الشَّوْقِ, then your desire belongs to it. And then حركت العاملة نحوه العضلات. Then the faculty which is responsible for action would move muscles towards it. نحوه means towards it. عضلات means muscles. So al-amila, al-quwwatul amila moves muscles towards that action. This is for children very often happening, even but for adults. As soon as they think about something, they do it. As soon as they see something on TV, they copy it. Yes? You remember we said sometimes just we think of something and we do it. وَيُسَمَّ الْفِعْلُ عِنْدَئِذٍ جُزَافٌ. And this type of action is called juzaf. Juzaf means arbitrary. But this is a technical term. We mean something that has no reasoning as backup. Just thinking, thinking in the sense of imagining. Just imagining, no reasoning. Just you imagine and you do it. When people get very excited or very angry, normally reasoning goes away. When people are rushed, reasoning goes away. Yeah?
We say action out of haste. Action out of haste. We say nothing.
Yes. Yes. Instantly, and you are like triggered. كما ربما تصور الصبي حركة من الحركات. For example, sometimes a child conceives emotion. فيشتاق إليها. As soon as thinks about it, then develops desire for it. فيأتي بها. Then does the action. For example, a guest comes, and this child, who is 2 years old, 3 years old, wants to take the glasses of the guest. Just thinks about it and does it. Does not think, does not ask for permission. Yeah, just comes to the mind and does it. وَمَنْ تَهَتْ إِلَيْهِ الْحَرَكَةُ حِينَئِذٍ غَايَةٌ لِلْمَبَادِئِ كُلَّهَا. And then what that action ends with is ghaya for all mabadi, which is takhayyul and amila in muscles. Because there is no fiqh here, so there is no fiqh so that you look for ghaya for it. Anything which is there has غاية. What is there here? تخيل and قوة عاملة for muscles and شوق also.
Can we say everything that is done has a ghaya? Everything which is done has a ghaya.
Yeah, everything which is done, yes, every action which is done by an agent has غاية. وربما كانت تخيلا مع خلق وعادة. Sometimes it's imagining plus there is a khulq, there is a trait of character, or there is a habit, عادة. You know, in the case of child, maybe this was not the habit of child to take the glasses of people. Maybe just comes to mind for the first time. But sometimes it's a habit that as soon as he sees someone has glasses, wants to take the glasses. Okay? Or كالعبث باللحية. عبث means action without purpose, just playing with beard. ويسمى عادة. For this type of action we say عادة, is habit. ربما كانت تخيلا مع طبيعة. It's not a matter of like child or like playing with the beard. It's tabi'ah, it's your nature plus takhayul. You imagine and then you do it. كالتنفس. You know, when you think of breathing and you breathe, then you don't have thinking behind it. Even if you had not thought about it, you were still breathing, you know. أو تخيلا مع مزاج. Tanaffus is tabi'ah, it's nature of human beings to do tanaffus. Mizaj means your condition of health. Mizaj sometimes we say disposition, but here we mean, are you healthy? Are you ill? كحركات المريض. Someone who is ill and does something without necessarily planning and reasoning and intending. These are called قصدا ضروريا. قصدا ضروريا means there is qasd, there is a will, there is an intention, but necessary. It's not really you choose. You have not think about it. You have not thought about it. وفي كل من هذه الأفعال. What is important, and it's the whole point in this chapter, is that no matter what is the type of action, all of them, whatever action is there, and whatever fa'il is doing something, its action has end. If there is no fa'il fikri, okay, it has no end, but there is nothing to have end. If there is something, it has end. وفي كل من هذه الأفعال لمبادئها غاياتها. For all these actions, for their mabadi there is غاية. وقد تطابقت في أنها, and they are all similar in what? That غاية is منتهت إليه الحركة. This is common between all types of ends. That their end is what the movement has ended there. The end of the movement. أما الغاية الفكرية, but the end which is a matter of thinking and reasoning, فليس لها مبدأ فكري. There was no مبدأ فكري in these actions. حتى تكون له غاية, so that then you look for a غاية. There was no fikri, so that there is غاية for it. We say every action has its end, but there was no intellectual action here. وكل مبدأ من هذه المبادئ إذا لم يوجد غايته any of these mabadi, if for some reason they don't reach end of their movement because there's an obstacle, okay? So we call this is batil. Batil means false, but here it doesn't mean false. It means like void, or something which is not completed, incomplete. Okay, but this, for example, this apple seed, while it was half the way till it becomes, for example, apple tree, yes, apple seed, half the way becoming apple tree, it's, for example, dried out and died. If you say, okay, that action was leading towards becoming apple tree and it didn't happen, so there is no ghaya, we say that haraka didn't complete. So now we have a smaller haraka which has its end. كل مبدأ من هذه المبادئ or mabadi, because this is takhfiful hamza. You know in sarf sometimes hamza becomes ya. Every origin of these things, every faculty or every origin of these mabadi, إذا لم يوجد قايته, if their end does not exist, does not materialize. Why? لانقطاع الفعل دون البلوغ إلى الغاية, because the action stops without reaching the end. بعرض مانع من الموانع, because of an obstacle has happened. سمي الفعل بالنسبة إليه باطلا. This action, because of being stopped half the way, it is called batil. It's not called juzaf, it's not called adab. Everything has its own name. The one which is stopped half the way, it's called batil. But it is incomplete, it is void. But انقطاع الفعل بسبب مانع يحول بينه وبين الوصول إلى الغاية غير كون الفعل لا غاية له في فعله. But the action has been stopped because of an obstacle which has stopped it, has blocked it, that has not let it reach its ghaya. Doesn't mean that that action didn't have ghaya. It had ghaya, it was moving towards something, but it is stopped. Or you can say it has a new ghaya now. It was leading towards something, stopped here, so now that's the actual ghaya. I repeat again the last sentence. انقطاع الفعل. انقطاع, منقطع means stopping. Yes. A stopping of action بسبب مانع, because of an obstacle that يحول بينه, that occurs and therefore partitions, occurs between this fail and wusul, reaching إلى الغاية, reaching the end. This is different from كون الفاعل لا غاية له, to say that the agent didn't have any end in its action. It had end, but it didn't reach. This apple seed wanted to become, wanted not in the sense of intention, but this was leading, there was clear path, and you see all of them has become apple tree. This one was stopped half the way. Okay? So, alhamdulillah, we finished this. So, what's the summary? We said some people have thought that there is an exception to what we said, that every agent has an end for its movement. And that is when there are things which happen either just as a matter of play or habit or natural disposition, or things which are stopped. And we said, no, every action has its own end. And every fa'il in its action has end. And that is what the action as a motion ends with. But you have to be careful in identifying what is the mabda, what is the fa'il. Is it muscles, it's the show, it is fikri, which one? Anything that exists has its own end. But sometimes there is no mabda fikri, therefore there is no ghaya for it, because it was not done with thinking and reasoning. Inshallah, next session we will talk about the idea of luck and chance. And we say in philosophy, we don't have anything as chance. Okay? So please study and do mubahasa and don't take any chance. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
There is the condition for the pure patient to be very impartial.